Here's your news for April 13th, 2020. We're starting today with news from The Undertaker, as at WrestleMania 36, all of the Phenom's multiple personas merged into one to defeat AJ Styles. In the run-up to the Boneyard match, the Deadman referenced a unholy trinity, and while many fans expected this to mean Kane and his wife Michelle McCool being involved, that wasn't the case. As the Deadman explained on a 9-Line Apparel live stream, he said, "When AJ threw that first stone and made this personal, then it made it a no-brainer. I couldn't stay that mainstream Undertaker and be able to respond and deal with the things he was saying in that character. A lot of people were curious, what is the unholy trinity? Well, the unholy trinity that I referenced was the Deadman, the Badass, and the man himself, Mark Calloway, and I put them all together. My brain was working that way. It was the unification of all these three entities into one person." While the Boneyard match is quickly making lists of the greatest Mania encounters of all time, some fans have been left wondering why the WWE didn't go with a Buried Alive match. On the stream, Undertaker explained that in kayfabe, it was Styles who booked the match and didn't know any better. He said, "AJ doesn't know anything about Buried Alive matches. He called it a Boneyard match. He's the one who made the match, so now it's a Boneyard match. Even Buried Alive matches generally happened in the arena, so I think we were just trying to give our audience something like, what is that? We tried to add a little bit of intrigue and get people talking." Though the Boneyard match ended like a Buried Alive match, it was shot much more differently, and this year's WrestleMania could mark the start of more cinematic encounters in WWE. Riding off to Metallica after being victorious, it's expected that the Deadman will keep this new persona when he returns, as perhaps this new character will be referred to as the Unholy Trinity Undertaker by the fans. One star who knows all about big matches at WrestleMania is Ronda Rousey, who is keeping herself entertained in isolation by stirring the pot in the WWE Universe. Describing wrestling as fake fighting, the Hot Rod upset stars including Alexa Bliss, Nia Jax, Lana, and others, and said she doesn't want to return to WWE full-time and made the decision to leave to stay with her family than ungrateful fans. Though Rousey has had a lot of criticism for her comments, one person who supports her is the Iron Sheik, who tweeted, "You said it, Ronda Bubba," referencing the Hot Rod. Whether fans love her or hate her, Rousey has certainly found a way to get people talking, and though she hasn't returned to the company, there are reportedly plans for her down the line. From one star of UFC to another now, as Colby Covington may become the latest star to jump from the octagon to the squared circle. While speaking to the What the Heck show, Covington explained his interest in WWE and praised the superstars and Vince McMahon for what they're doing at the moment. He said, "To put on a show like that for the world while everybody's at home watching, you don't have the same energy from the crowd and the same adrenaline that you get when you walk into a full arena. So to see those guys out there putting it all on the line, I respect those guys. Those guys are some of the hardest workers on earth. I hope to join them someday. I've got a lot of love and respect for Vince McMahon and what he's done for the business model of the WWE. My thing is, I want to go to WWE and make wrestling real again." If Covington does plan on making the jump, then he already has an advantage thanks to having connections with Kurt Angle, Bobby Lashley, and Ronda Rousey. He explained, "I think I'm going to have a good grasp of it. I grew up amateur wrestling and I know how to act. I know how to sell, and everybody knows I know how to entertain, so I think it's going to be a smooth transition when I go to the WWE in 2021. Time will tell whether the conservative fighter will actually make it to WWE next year, but there may be some substantial paydays for the 32-year-old if a deal can be struck." One superstar who knows all about making it big in WWE is new WWE Champion Drew McIntyre, who took the time to thank one of his biggest supporters this week. Appearing on TMZ, McIntyre said that The Rock knew he had it before he was even in the title picture. As he explained, "I wasn't showing my personality like I have been, and I wasn't on a winning streak or anything. He pointed me out. I think it's interesting when guys like Vince McMahon and The Rock, when they see something in somebody that others don't, or you don't see it in yourself." It certainly must have been a cool moment to receive a boost of confidence from the People's Champion, and McIntyre sent a thank you to the Brahma Bull as he now holds the gold that The Rock held all those years ago. We've got some news from former WWE star Ryback now, as the former Intercontinental Champion has been highly critical of WWE since his departure. Though he doesn't wrestle anymore, a lot of Ryback's friends do, and given the risk of doing live shows every week, the big guy has a suggestion. On Twitter, Ryback said that all wrestlers should refuse to perform, stating that wrestling will be a better place with Vince McMahon gone. It is true that WWE was going to film a month's worth of TV at the Performance Center before Vince McMahon changed his mind, upsetting a lot of superstars in the process. Hopefully the ongoing situation will end soon, but until that time, Ryback has made his opinion very clear on what he feels superstars should do. The big guy isn't the only person annoyed at WWE at the moment, as after Vince McMahon changed his plans, forcing superstars to travel to Orlando each week, Reby Hardy made her views clear on the situation. On Twitter, Hardy tweeted out that wrestling is great, but McMahon's weekly live tapings are not essential. Reby continued that if WWE fans want content, they can check out the network, and this news comes after AEW was able to record over a month of footage from QT Marshall's gym in Norcross, Georgia. Now, AEW will have fresh weekly content while minimizing the risk to its stars, something that WWE could have also done but opted not to, possibly due to their deals with the USA Network and Fox. Reby is no doubt pleased that her husband Matt recently left WWE for AEW, and hopefully this global situation will come to an end sooner rather than later. We've got some more news from AEW now, as commentator Jim Ross has spoken about a text message he sent to Vince McMahon after WrestleMania. After the show of shows took place under the most unique of circumstances, JR spoke with 411 Mania about congratulating McMahon on his quote, artistic miracle. As he said, I still have a great respect for Vince. I texted him my congratulations on the success of WrestleMania because I thought it was, by and large, an artistic miracle that they were able to do what they did in the environment that they were operating in. Speaking more on his relation with Vince, JR added, Vince and I are friends today. We were friends 25 years ago. I was with him for over a quarter of a century. You don't dissolve a friendship simply because you lose the employee of one. I wanted to get back on the air, and the WWE at that time did not have a place for me to get back on the air on a regular basis. Look, we don't communicate regularly. When we do, it's normally by text, but I have great respect for Vince McMahon, and for 25 years, he gave me a lot of money to do my job, and some days are better than others. I'll just say that. But it was all a microcosm of life. Some days are simply better than others. Before leaving WWE, the company wasn't using JR despite him being arguably the greatest commentator of all time. And it's good to see that the AEW announcer doesn't harbor any resentment to WWE or Vince McMahon. Back to WWE now, and we have some unfortunate news as the wedding of Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch has been postponed. Speaking to Extra.ie, the man confirmed that the wedding will be delayed due to the ongoing situation affecting the world, but remained positive, saying, Look, at the end of the day, I'm going to be with him forever. So it doesn't matter if we get married next month or next year or 2 days from now, it's all the same, but it would be better if my family and friends could be there. It's good to see the man and the Monday Night Messiah remaining positive during this time as the global situation continues to develop. Speaking of public gatherings not happening, it looks like fans will have to wait quite some time before wrestling events have crowds back at the arena. Recently, an article for Sports Illustrated dashed hopes of live sporting events coming back, as Zach Binney, who has a PhD in epidemiology, said, "We will not have sporting events with fans until we have a vaccine." As of right now, it's likely that a vaccine will take 12 to 18 months to develop and distribute, and while President Trump has stated he hopes to have stadiums open up again by September, that doesn't seem to be the right idea. While WWE superstars are competing a lot less this year due to the ongoing situation, one person who has appeared more in 2020 is The Big Show, who recently returned after hip issues, surgeries, and complications that followed. Now with his own show on Netflix, the 48-year-old knows himself that his 25-year career must end soon, and spoke to TV Insider about the end of his career. He said, "I don't have an opponent picked out yet for my final match, because I think that is a ways away. What I have done is stepped back as far as full-time 5 nights a week in the trenches. I've done that for 25 years. Now it's time for the guys to stake their claim and build their characters and legacies." Recently appearing on Raw to challenge Drew McIntyre, Show can still go in the ring. And while his new show focuses on a retired pro wrestler, the Giant isn't ready to hang up his boots just yet. From one former world champion to another now, as Ric Flair recently appeared on the Broken Skull Sessions, where he spoke about his 2002 Royal Rumble street fight with Vince McMahon. Admitting that he had some confidence issues stemming from his treatment in WCW, the Nature Boy said he felt much better after speaking to Vince before the match, saying, Vince wasn't the only star to praise the 16-time world champion, as Flair also spoke about Shane McMahon being thrilled to work with him in Japan. The dirtiest player in the game has certainly been keeping busy, as he also spoke to Wrestling Inc. recently and explained his decision to join TNA. Speaking about his final match in 2011 where he lost to Sting, Flair was blunt about his reasons for joining, as he said, "I needed the money. Very simple. I was paying alimony to 3 women at one time and lawyers. I got bombed as everyone hit me and then the IRS. It's very simple. Like Jim Ross said, I needed the money. I would have never gone there. Even though I got to hang around Kurt Angle and Sting, it was a disaster." Though he's back with WWE, Flair is now 71, so his wrestling career is more than over. Though the odds are that when fans think about Ric's legendary career, TNA won't be the first company they think of. Back to WWE now, and Drake Maverick has confirmed he is stepping down as 205 Live general manager to return to the ring full-time. As a cruiserweight himself, the British star will be in the NXT Cruiserweight Championship tournament, which will crown a new champion due to Jordan Devlin being unable to make NXT tapings in Orlando due to current world events. With Maverick gone from the GM role, it's also been confirmed that William Regal will be overseeing the Purple brand from now on, as the cruiserweights and NXT have become closely linked over the past year. And finally today, we're ending with some news from the NXT Cruiserweight title tournament, as the WWE have revealed which stars will be vying for the interim championship. As part of the round-robin tournament, Group A will consist of Maverick, Kushida, Tony Nese, and Jake Atlas, while Group B will see Isaiah Scott, El Hijo del Fantasma, Akira Tozawa, and Gentleman Jack Gallagher compete for a shot at the gold. On Twitter, Devlin has been very unhappy about the ruling, saying the winner will be a fraud champion, as it looks like the Irish Ace will be hoping to prove himself as the undisputed NXT Cruiserweight champion when he's able to travel to the United States once again.